All right, here we go. 1,000 Grand Corsa. So I decided, since it was double points, I'm gonna hop in on a couple of the 1,000 races. I did the SuperStock 1,000 Grand Corsa. Also did the SuperStock 1,000 Sprint. And this was really just to try to see if I could get some points for the season, since it was double points. I looked at lap times from qualifying. It looked like I might have a chance, or at least could like finish in a place where I'd get some points for it. So I figured, why not? Let's go ahead and do it and see what we can get. So yeah, out here on the sighting lap. I will say this, because this was the second Grand Course I was running this day, it was starting to get physically difficult, or taxing at least, I would say. There was one race between my first SuperStock 600 race and then this race, so I got a little bit of recovery time, but I mean maybe 25 minutes or so for them to get out, get 10 laps in and come back in. So, 25 minutes of recovery, then back out on track to see what we could do here. So it's definitely a bit more of a physical race. I think if you look at the lap times throughout the whole race, thankfully I was below my qualifying time for the entire race. I don't think there were any laps that were more than my qualifying, other than obviously the first lap. But afterwards I stayed under it, so I was happy for that. I thought that was doing well there. I didn't quite beat the best lap time from the earlier race, and you'll see I kind of slow down a little bit towards the end as well. Don't put up quite as good lap times. But, for this race, middle of the race, I still hit like a 155 and some change, which was almost equal to the best lap in the 600 race as well. So getting within, under a second of personal best for this track and stuff was, after 10 laps in the other race, was still a win for me. And we'll see if we get any points here. Did get to qualify in 4th for this one as well. So that was good. Second row start. Definitely want to get up there as high as I can with the thousands. They're going to definitely try to get me off the line. So try to get a little bit better start than I did last time. Overall, I'll take it. Wasn't the best start, wasn't the worst start. Certainly an improved start than certainly Miami, and probably a better one from the first one as well. There goes Tongue running away. And we're off. Lights out. Here we go. Guys up front definitely get a good start. This guy comes coming by. 2 of them. They definitely got a good start there. But now we hit the corners. Let's see if we can catch up to them, do any work. Damn, they're starting to pull away. I'm like, oh shit, did I make the right decision here? Are we going to be able to keep up? But, coming into this first corner too, I'm starting to catch them again. I'm like, okay, maybe I can do this. We'll just try to get some drive down and put our head down, see what we can do, get clean laps in. That'll be the big thing for the whole race. Obviously, if you watch my other races, kind of the start of the last 600 Grand Course, I made a few mistakes, so I was coming out here knowing I was tired. I was like, let's try not to do that. See if we can keep it clean. Thankfully, you can see it run off a little bit there. Using all the track. He paid for the whole weekend, so he's going to use it all. This ended up actually being a really good race. This is, I believe his name is Corey Richardson, local NOLA guy, came out, had a ton of fun, kind of chasing him down this whole race. We had some good back and forth, so this was fun for me. Yeah, you can see those bumps there. just how much it kind of unsettles everything going into that right-hander there. This will be the first kind of straight here. I was real curious to see how this would go and see how bad they gap me. I just try to, you can see me starting to tuck way down here, try to get in the tuck, get as much as I can out of it. And, you know, honestly, there could be worse gaps. And here I'm catching them right up on the brakes, so that was encouraging to me. We'll see if they start braking a little bit later and I have a little bit more difficult time catching up, but we're still up here, you know. I really like this series of couple of left-handers and then to this right-hander. This was kind of a fun part of the track for me. I felt like I had a lot of fun there. Felt like my line through there was okay. I'd love to hear your input if you ride this track a lot to see, you know, how are my lines. This one, yeah, I may have mentioned this in the other race as well, but like that turn there, and this one too. Certainly the first one I'd had issues with tipping in early and trying to make sure I was hitting that one, and then the other one was kind of which line do you want to take, whether you can stay out wide and then come through, or kind of stay a little bit to the inside. There's some kind of concrete patch, or I don't know if it's concrete, but certainly kind of exposed tar snake stuff going on in the middle of the track there, so you kind of want to pick one side. I felt like, especially in the rain, that was a bigger issue, but still noticeable here in the dry as well. Alright, back on the straight. Let's see what they do to me. What's the damage? You can see him putting down a line there. Hell yeah. Alright. Can we get him? Make some time up on the brakes. Carry a little bit more corner speed through here. Try not to run off. I do keep going real deep there. I think I need to not go quite as deep maybe, but you know, we're staying there. And then here, yeah, again, I feel like I really catch up here. Let's see if we can get him around the outside, leave him some room on the inside, close it up, and then try to get the power down. And I thought for sure he'd have me here, but was glad I finally, was talking about I hit that apex finally. You could see that kind of middle patch or line through the middle there. I think I liked the inside of it better and just trying to stay all the way inside of it around that turn. There's a couple times I went wider there though. This is a fun series of turns. This one though, right here, there's a bunch of bumps there. You can kind of see it shaking a little bit. I didn't really get my suspension dialed in for it. I felt like it was kind of hard and maybe packing down a little bit. But you know, I don't think there was anyone there to work with for suspension, so I didn't get to adjust too much. And then just, yeah. Try to get out of here quick, get the power down early. At this point, I'm real bad. I don't ever like look back at, oh, you can see right there. I knew he was right there. You could see his front wheel there for a second. I felt like he was on me the whole time, but I never end up like looking back all that much. I don't know if I do it. I don't think I do it in this race. In one of the races, you can kind of at least see going around this corner. You can kind of look back to your left and see if how close people are. just missing that apex. Staying wide. Don't want to touch those apexes too close. Just kind of roll off the throttle and then get right back on it. A little bit wide there, but into that turn. But this is a good braking zone. Try to tip it over and then get right back on it. And then this one, you don't even brake, you just kind of roll off, let it sit, and back on it. Same here. This almost reminds me of turn 1 and 2 at Roebling. You tip in, and then you're kind of playing with the throttle just to get the bike turned and pointed in the right direction. And we held him off for one more straight. Man, that was always nerve-wracking to wonder when one of the 1000s is going to come blowing by. This was a fun turn too. I like this one, just really getting to wind it up, coming out of there, then onto the straight. This was another one where I was trying to really work the clutch, kind of tipping into that left-hander, because you're hard on the brake and just trying to keep the rear settled a little bit. I feel like at this point you can almost hear him in the background. I certainly felt like I could hear him. You knew he was close. Puts the pressure on to try to keep pushing there. I'd have to look back, but this might have been my fast lap for this race. Nothing else, my lines are looking a little cleaner this time. Felt like I was losing some time there in between there. I don't know if I just I kind of almost should have been on the gas for a little, like, split second longer in that kind of straight and into that braking zone. But you also don't want to go wide there because there's not anywhere to really turn back around. And this was another one, like, especially in the 1000 race, I felt like I played with this a little bit more as to whether right before going onto that straight, those kind of couple of right-hand turns there, as to whether you drop down another gear going into them, just to try to get a little bit more drive out of it. I played with that a couple times. I think I liked it maybe a little bit better when you drop down one more, and you can kind of get a little bit more power right out the corner, but also, if I left it in the higher gear, I felt like I probably carried a little bit more corner speed, maybe, just because, like, it starts to drop in the revs, and you know that, so you try to kind of carry a little bit more speed so that maybe you're at least a little bit closer to the power band by the time you get out. Kind of missed that apex. I'll tell you what, you really having to watch these things again afterwards, I feel like you really pick apart your riding and notice the things that you don't necessarily notice when you're actually out there riding, and that's good. I need to be doing that, so it's fun to watch these and really get to analyze kind of where I'm missing something. A little bit slow after tipping in there to get back on the throttle. I feel like it's got to be almost real quick in those ones. And then here, I totally blow that apex. Don't even get close to it. I'm way out on the rumble strips. Terrible drive. And, you know, somehow he doesn't catch me there. I don't know. I'm sure, again, I don't know how far behind he was, but surely he gained some time there. A little bit smoother on that rear wheel hop going into that one than the previous ones. Yeah, no, I'm wearing headphones. I can still hear him right behind me, so he's close. It's making me nervous now. Let off the throttle a little bit, tip in, back over to the other side, back on, but try not to go push wide. That was another one I could easily push myself wide, and then it kind of really messes up those next two turns there. And then this one you just kind of shoot almost straight across. There, actually, I went to go grab a downshift and ended up upshifting. I just hit it with my boot going the other way instead, so I had to, like, oh man, that was disappointing there. And yeah, I paid for it. He goes blowing by. That whole time though, you're like, you're feeling stalked. You are being hunted, and you can tell. It's nerve-wracking. But good job. He was, yeah, obviously he was following me for a while, getting to study, see where he could definitely get past me, and he did a good job. I mean, that was as clean as you can get. Just catching him again in the corners. See him. But wasn't gonna quite make it. I tried to get the power down early out of here, but he's taking off. And I mean, a little bit wide, but I wasn't close enough to do anything about it there. Again, probably at this point I don't really know how many laps we have left. And then he takes off there. Goes a little bit deep, wide there. Like, that's the area I feel like I need to be getting a little bit more, build up a little more speed there. I don't know if just like the gearing and I'm in a little bit too low, or RPM range there, which probably means I can carry more speed out of there too. And then here we go. Yeah, and he's just gone on the straight. But I mean, he was definitely had more power on the straight, but also I was just barely keeping up with him in the corners too. I was catching him back a little bit on the brakes here, but you know, not enough to make up for that. You'll also, I don't know if you can quite see it in the video, it was probably right about now I notice my fuel light's coming on. He goes wide there. Again, wasn't close enough to do anything about it, which is a little bit of a bummer, but you know, what can you do? Yeah, my fuel light was coming on, and I was like, I just don't want to run out of gas. At some point it starts blinking at me. I think that by then I only had like maybe 2 or 3 laps left, but I wasn't sure. And he had gotten enough of a gap on me, and I was getting honestly pretty tired from this being, you know, close to 20 laps for me this day, that I started to maybe try to carry a little bit more roll speed and a little bit less acceleration, make sure I was not using up too much extra gas, just because and that was the thing, like, I'm not super used to this gas gauge on here, but it was over halfway full, and I had just done this Grand Corsa on the 600, so I was like, oh, well, you know, I went through a little bit less than half a tank, so I should be good, and we'll just use up the rest of what's in there. But man, I was kind of close, apparently. Go, get into a tuck. Now comes the white flag. We got 1 lap left. He has put a good gap on me. I am not thinking I can make up this time, but we are about to hit some traffic, so you never know, right? Like, sometimes people get held up, crazy things happen, so just keep trying to roll through, but also, like, you know, I was in decent position. I don't know exactly what I was at this point, especially within the amateur division, but you know, I was up there. I certainly wasn't dead last, so I was going to get points. Don't want to ruin that, so I got to be careful getting around these people as well. If I ever actually catch them. It's a good looking bike right there. He is still picking up pace through these corners, so he's definitely got me beat at this point. I am not closing this gap at all. At this point, yeah, just trying to bring it home, be clean. I didn't see anyone or hear anyone behind me, so I was like, we're probably okay, but also still get the power down, get in your tuck, try not to lose any places on the last straight. And there's the checkered flag. Man, you can see my gas light blinking down there. That was a good race though. I had a lot of fun. It was fun chasing Corey in the first half, and then, you know, getting the lead in front of him for a little bit and then trying to chase him down. Love to see that. We each give each other a thumbs up. It's always fun to kind of notice together you guys had a good race together, and he came out on top there and did an awesome job, so yeah.